Hello, my crafting friends. I have some primitive farmhouse spring DIYs for you that are so cute, budget friendly, and easy. I know you're going to love them. So come craft with me. I'm Sarah, and welcome to my channel, Primroselaneprims. If you haven't done so already, I hope you'll consider hitting that subscribe button, and let's jump right into these DIYs. This DIY, I'm going to be using this little burlap tote bag that I have. This is originally from KP Collections. This is actually one I've had in my craft stash for quite a while, and I honestly forgot about it until I came across it the other day, and I knew exactly what I wanted to do with it. I'm going to start off by stuffing my little tote bag here, and I'm just going to use some of these little plastic shopping bags to fill this out. It's a great way to repurpose these shopping bags and save a little money on stuffing, but you could also just use some stuffing as well if you prefer, or if you don't have the shopping bags. And then I'm going to pick some florals. Now these are just some floral stems here. These are the 97-cent ones that come from Walmart, and I just picked a couple pretty spring ones, and these are the hanging florals that are from the Dollar Tree this year. They are so pretty, and I'm taking two of those. So I'm going to take my little Walmart florals here, and I'm just going to kind of wrap these two around each other. Make a little bouquet here, and I'm going to add these right down into the center of my little tote bag here. Just push them right down in the middle of those plastic bags that are down in there. And then I'm going to take one of each of my hanging floral stems. I'm going to put one down on each side hanging over here. We're going to make a pretty little spring hanging little basket that you could hang on a door or a wall, just to add a little bit of greenery and pretty touch of spring to your home. Kind of fluff my flowers around a little bit, adjust them around. I'm going to take this black and cream small gingham fabric, homespun fabric, and I'm going to rip about a 2-inch wide strip. And I'm just going to wrap it right around the top here and cinch this bag closed just a little bit and tie my fabric in a knot and leave my tails relatively long hanging down the front. And adjust my flowers a little bit now that that's tied. And as you can see with these hanging ones, I actually wrapped one of these hanging stems. I put it around the back of the handle there, just so that they'll lay nice and pretty when this is hanging. Now the last thing I'm going to do to this is right here in the lip of this bag, I'm just going to take a little bit of my dried Spanish moss. Now I'm going to hot glue a little bit just right here in the front, right around the top of this bag here, just slightly hanging over just to fill it out just a little bit. I know I'm so happy to be working on some spring crafts. It has been such a long and cold winter here in my neck of the woods, and seeing these little greens and these flowers, it's just getting me really excited for spring to arrive. And here is our completed little hanging basket of flowers. This I absolutely adore. It has me dreaming of wildflowers and butterflies. For this DIY, I'm going to be taking some of these little Dollar Tree tote bags. You could really use tote bags from anywhere, but I thought these were really cute, very spring, kind of farmhousey. And we're going to turn these into some simple, easy, budget-friendly throw pillows. So I'm going to start off by just trimming off the little handles of the tote bag. I am going to hang on to a couple of those handles because I will come back and need them here at the end. I'm going to end up sewing up my little bags here for my pillows. But if you're not someone who sews, you don't have a sewing machine, and you want a no-sew method, just take the tops here, fold it down this little lip under like you see me doing here, and hot glue right along that seam and leave yourself a little opening there to stuff your pillows with. But since I am going to sew mine, I'm going to turn it inside out, and I'm going to make my seam right along the top, right underneath that little top lip of the bag. And I'm just going to sew it down 3/4 of the way and leave just enough of an opening so that I can turn it right side out and add some stuffing. Now that my little tote bag's all set up, I'm just going to grab my polyfill stuffing and I'm going to stuff these pillows. And if you're enjoying this video so far, I hope you'll drop down and hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, I hope you'll consider hitting that subscribe button and crafting again with me in the future. And YouTube has a feature called Hype. It's a completely free way for you to support creators and show your love of a video. So if you're liking it, I hope you'll consider hitting that Hype button as well. So out of that 16-ounce bag of polyfill stuffing, I was able to fill 3 pillows, and I had a little bit left over, not enough to do the fourth, but a little bit. And I paid $6 total for that bag, so not too bad to get 3 whole pillows out of it. Now to finish stitching these up, I'm just going to use a ladder stitch. And for anyone who's not familiar with that, you're just going to make a little stitch on one side, go straight across to the other, and make another stitch. Go straight back across to the other and continue like that, so that your string in the middle, see, it looks like little ladder rungs. So make a stitch, go straight across, make another stitch. And this is nice because, see, as I pull it closed, you don't see any of the stitches. They're completely hidden. And I'm just going to continue doing this all the way to the end of my pillow and tying it off. Now, if you want the no-sew method, you'll just tuck your edges under right here and then hot glue it right along that inner seam. Press it down firmly and seal it. Now, I'm actually going to go back and I'm going to take one of these the handles of the tote bag that I cut off, and I'm going to tie a just little shoestring bow out of one. I'm going to use this to embellish my little pillow with the bicycle that says I forget what it says, but I'm just going to tie a little bow, cut the edges off here. And where I trim these, you can see it's kind of open and I don't want that to fray ever. So I'm just going to add a little tiny drop of hot glue right in the center there and press that down closed. That'll just kind of seal those edges off to keep those ends from fraying. You could stitch them up too if you wanted to, but I just added a little hot glue. Quick and easy. So I'm just going to take it, I'm going to add my little bow right here to the corner of my pillow just to add just a little bit of embellishment to it. I thought it looked really cute. You could stitch these on, or if you're doing the nice thing, you could just add some hot glue and add it right there. And guys, these turn out so cute and they're so budget friendly. Like I said, I got 3 pillows fully stuffed for around $10, which 3 pillows for $10 is not bad. And you would never know that these started off as Dollar Tree tote bags. Now for this last DIY, I'm going to take this little house. This is originally from the dollar store. I got it actually at a thrift store for 50 cents, so I got it even cheaper than the dollar store's dollar. And I'm going to take some of these larger popsicle sticks as well as one of these jumbo ones that I get at Walmart. And I'm going to start off by just taking a little scrap piece of paper here, and I'm just going to kind of make an indentation of where that roof line is and make just a small little template here of my little house. I'm going to use this to take my popsicle sticks and cut slats. I want to make this little house look like a rustic little log cabin. So I'm going to lay out some of the larger popsicle sticks just wide enough that it will go across that house. I'll lay my little template here on top of it, and I'm just going to use a pencil to trace out the shape of my little wood house here. And these are really, really, really easy to cut through. I'm just using my wire cutters and snipping right along those pencil marks where I marked the outline of the house. Now, these are also so thin that my craft scissors will also cut through them. So you could even just take your strong little pair of craft scissors and snip through these as well. They really don't take much effort. Well, except this one piece. For whatever reason, this one popsicle stick was really tough on the end. I'm not sure why, but it gave me a little fit. But you can see I switched to my scissors and they snip right through these little popsicle sticks as well. Now, before I add my little wood slats to my house, I'm going to go in with my Waverly chalk paint in the color ink, and I'm just going to give this little house a coat of this underneath. I want to cover that pink. That way, if anything peeks through those little popsicle sticks, my little wood boards, you're going to see dark underneath of it and not any bright pink shining through. And I'm going to go ahead and do the back, sides, and everything so that my house is uniform. Then once it's dry, I'm just going to use some hot glue and I'm going to start adding my little popsicle stick wood slats. Now I made my slats a little long here on the end somehow, despite using a template, but no big deal, just grabbing my craft scissors and snipping those off flush right along the edge. Then I'm going to take my Waverly Antique Wax, because you know I love my Waverly Antique Wax. And I'm going to stain my little wood boards here of my little house. And be sure to get those little edges that are on the side. And I'm going to go ahead and do the roof too, the roof and chimney of this little house. Now I want to make these look like weathered barnwood a little bit. So I'm going to take my Waverly chalk paint and the color of ink and really lightly start dry brushing this in and along the little wood slats or the popsicle sticks, just to give this that aged wood look, kind of like an old cabin would look that's been out in the woods, just weathering over the years. And I'm going to do the same thing to the roof of my little cabin too. Now, while that's drying, I'm going to grab one of these little boxes from the little crates from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to take my jumbo popsicle stick that is from Walmart. And I'm just going to kind of measure here the size of my crate and use my scissors just to snip this popsicle stick down to size. And I'm going to add this to my crate right here on the edge using some hot glue. So we got like this little lip here, right here, a little shelf on the top of our crate. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to paint this the same way I painted the little house. I'm going to give it a coat of the antique wax all over the bottom or all over the outside. I'm not going to do the inside. You won't see the inside of the crate, so I'm not going to bother with it. And then I'm going to take my black paint, chalk paint once again, and distress this so that it looks like it has that old wood look as well to match the little house that we painted. And be sure to get my little shelf on the top though. Oops. So here's what it looks like when it's dry. And see, it matches our little house here. Now, our little house, I'm going to turn into a little birdhouse. So taking my black chalk paint, I'm just going to freehand draw or paint, should I say, not draw, a little circle right here in the center at the top. Now, using some hot glue, I'm going to attach my little house right here to this little shelf that we made on the top of our crate. And we're going to turn this into an adorable little rustic prim birdhouse planter box. So now going in with my black and cream gingham homespun fabric here. Lots of strings, gotta trim those off. I'm just gonna wrap this around my crate here and tie it off in a knot right in the front. And I'll use a little bit of hot glue to secure that knot down right in the center. Make sure that fabric stays put and that my tails hang kind of how I want them to. And to finish it off, I'm just going to take this little rusty star and I'm going to hot glue it right here over the top of the knot of my homespun fabric. Now the fun part, we get to add all of our little florals to decorate our box. I'm going to hot glue a small piece of floral foam down in here to start with. And then I'm going to add some glue all around the sides here of my floral foam. And I'm going to take some dried Spanish moss and I'm just going to fill in the box all around there. I want to fill those holes on the side there so that when you look at the sides of the crate, you won't see anything but Spanish moss. And I'm going to leave enough of it over the top here to kind of hang over the top edge of this crate a little bit. And I'll use a little bit of hot glue to go along and just kind of secure this moss right over the little, hanging over a little bit over the lip, right where I want it. So you can see on the sides, when you look through the crates, you just see Spanish moss. Now I'm going to take two of these little greeners. These are the 97-cent florals from Walmart. I love these. They actually look like little shamrocks. So they're not only perfect for spring or even summer, but they also have a little bit of St. Patrick's Day flair, I think, too. I'm looking like the shamrocks. And I'm going to take one of these stems, trim it down here, and start filling in my little box with this to start with. And you could, of course, pick any type of florals that you want for these, but I wanted to pick something that would not only look great for spring, but that I could even leave out all summer as well. So I'm going to take these red pip berries next. This is a whole stem that I had, but I'm just going to pull a few sprigs of these berries off here, pop them down in to my floral and kind of wrap them around. These are kind of long stems, so I kind of twisted them around a little bit and tucked them down in there so they weren't sticking up too far and they were mixed in nice and pretty throughout the greenery. Just add a little touch of that red. Now, I had some of this dried baby's breath that I got from Hobby Lobby, and I took a little sprig of that, just breaking off little pieces, and I'm going to tuck that down in and around my greenery, add a little touch of light color to it. I love using the dried foils. It adds such a pretty touch. And here it is. I absolutely adore this Dollar Tree and Dollar Store little birdhouse planter box. So that's it for today's video. Drop me a comment, let me know which of today's was your favorite. And if you haven't done so already, I hope you'll consider hitting that subscribe button. Don't forget to follow me on socials. And until next time, happy crafting and God bless.